What's good, family? It's Pimo, aka Jade, aka Urban Politics, and I'm checking in on y'all one good time. So I'm here today to talk to you guys about the situation with Kyrie Irving, okay? And we all know what's been going on. We all know that he's been suspended due to reposting or taking a screenshot of a video that's publicly available on Amazon, Hebrews to Negroes, okay? And first of all, I've watched the documentary, okay? And I'm very familiar with the teachings and the belief systems of who you would call the Hebrew Israelites. In fact, I gravitate to 90-something% of the beliefs that are most commonly understood amongst most of them, with some variance. But I do believe that many people who are quote unquote, you would call quote unquote black, and particularly African Americans, I do believe that we do stem from the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. I want to talk about the way that he's being done right now and the response, okay, most importantly from Black America, okay? And but first of all, I want to say this. You know, I find it incredibly interesting that people who have not even seen the documentary have such an opinion on what Kyrie Irving is, have the audacity to call this man anti-anything when he, number one, have never said anything negative or derogatory about anyone. And they also have not pinpointed what portion of the documentary is anti-anything. See, because most of the people with an opinion are just upset at the fact that this man had the courage and the boldness to just post this media. He's basically letting the world know that in his own way, that he gravitates to the beliefs of many of the Hebrew Israelites. And that is offensive to some people. As it pertains to this topic of discussion and it being anti-Semitic, right? We have to ask ourselves this. First of all, what is anti-Semitism? And I think that needs to be clearly defined, okay? As an African-American male, I can definitely tell you that, like, in our community, we have this thing where sometimes people are oversensitive, right? So I'll give you an example. If let's say a white male or a white woman scrutinizes certain aspects of the Black community, or describes certain things that are going on in the Black community, some people have a tendency to just immediately label this person as a racist. And although that person may be racist, the simple fact that that person is pointing out some objective truths or facts or whatever it might be, some situation within our community does not in itself mean that that person is that. I think the wiser course of action is to examine what that person is actually saying and seeing if there's some merit to it, and then finding out if we have some areas for improvement within our own community to find out what we can do to address those situations. It's not rocket science. Just because someone is scrutinizing people within our race doesn't mean that that person is racist or that they hate us, right? We don't know that. We can't conclude that. And if we're that sensitive, something else is going on. Something's wrong, right? And I think that it seems as though certain members of the Jewish community have a similar type of thing where anytime someone is questioning or scrutinizing a certain element of their culture, of their people, the easiest thing for them to do is dismiss it and label that person as anti-Semitic and not even want to have the conversation. And that's where I think that that community is out of pocket, okay? Because we're getting to a point now where this man's religious belief is somehow anti-Semitic. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. He hasn't said anything about that group of people. And I feel like that type of, and that level of censorship is ridiculous. And you have to question why they're so fragile about this. You have to question why they're so uncomfortable with the entire topic of discussion. When they can't even pinpoint what part of what was said or done is in fact anti-Semitic, but they are so detailed about a 6-step thing that Kyrie Irving needs to do to get back into the NBA or to play back again for the Brooklyn Nets. It's ridiculous. At this point, it's ridiculous. And I don't think that Kyrie Irving should have backed down at all. I don't think that he should have even issued an apology because he didn't do anything wrong. Kyrie Irving literally didn't do anything wrong. He didn't say anything. The reality is they came for him. When he posted the link to the video, they came for him. They're the ones who immediately started to label him a certain way. So why should he have to answer to a label that you're putting on him based on something you can't even quantify? You can't even explain why you put that label on him, but he's supposed to answer your question about why is he that or is he not that? Like, you should first have to explain, like, yo, what it is that this person said or did that would lead you to believe that that person is anti-Semitic, or that person is whatever, evil, or has hatred or whatever against your group of people. What is the problem with explaining that? And usually when people can't do that, it's because they don't have a real argument. They're just upset about something. They feel like someone violated them. And on a deeper level, I feel like this is the ultimate shut up and dribble that we've ever seen. Okay, this is the biggest moment of shut up and dribble that we've ever seen in the history of sports. And I'm going to speak about a few other things, and then I'm going to get out of here. You know, I told this story once before. I'll tell it again. You know, I was in 2012, I graduated from a police academy. I never became a cop. I don't work in law enforcement. But there was a woman, or excuse me, there was a sergeant of the city of Fresno's SWAT team. He was a commander on the SWAT team there to teach us. Okay. And God is my witness. I'll never forget this. It was NBA playoff season at the time. And this man described basketball players as thugs in shorts. Thugs in shorts. Okay. And when someone questioned him, as in, like, you sound kind of racist right there, right? That was a racist comment. His response was, oh, no, I'm married to a black woman. Okay. Now, I say that to say this, that a lot of people have this idea about basketball players, especially, and it ain't just basketball players. A lot of people have this idea about African-American men in general, that we are that number one, we're this group of bad people, that we're just bad guys. We're just whatever. And the way that the media and society has a tendency to prop up the worst examples of men in our community and paint all black men with this broad brush as if that's how we all are is ridiculous. And what I've realized is that the reason why these people do this is because they're trying to justify their own illegitimate hatred of black men. They're trying to justify why they are dehumanizing us. And so they prop up these negative examples. They push these negative stereotypes. They label black people a certain way because they have internal racist viewpoints about black men. They feel some kind of way about black men that is negative. So they have to stoop to this low level to try to justify their own belief systems. And it's pathetic. And I mentioned this man being married to a black woman because I need my black people to understand. I need my brothers and sisters to understand something. I don't think a lot of black folks realize the significance of this moment, because if they did, then they would stand with Kyrie Irving. You have to understand this. If Kyrie Irving had done something wrong, then I would not be saying that we should be standing with him. But Kyrie Irving didn't do anything wrong. Kyrie Irving expressed his own religious beliefs in a way that was not divisive, in a way that was not evil, in a way that did not harm anyone. Okay, so now why is he being punished for this? It's because they are letting black people know. They're trying to let black people know very clearly, especially you highly influential, well-off black men, that if you want to stand for that truth, we're going to punish you for it. That's what this is. They didn't seek to try to get no understanding from Kyrie, but he's supposed to be trying to get understanding from them. He's supposed to submit and bow down to them. Without them trying to get any understanding, they're telling you they don't give a damn about what he's talking about. They feel that they have the power, they have the control, they have this and that, so they don't feel like they need to have any understanding. No, they're telling Kyrie, you need to bow down. You need to disavow that film and tell the world you don't believe in any of that. Okay? See, what these folk need to realize is that black people, we got power as well too. And I am disappointed that more black men did not side with Kyrie Irving. I am disappointed that no NBA player that I've seen to this day have said anything in defense of Kyrie Irving because they fear the consequences. And that's where I look at this and I'm like, man, y'all tripping like, bro, like the NBA couldn't even exist without y'all. The NBA couldn't exist without us. So now what are you talking about? How do you not have the gumption to realize the magnitude of this moment? And I feel like in my heart that like black men like the whole Nets, all the black players from the Nets shouldn't have even suited up for the next games. All the games that Kyrie is out, every one of them black players, they should have been like, look, bro, we need to figure out what we're going to do. Because if they're going to suspend him for this until he apologized, no, we need to show our brother that we got his back. And this is just real talk. Like, I'm keeping it 100 when I say this, bro. Like, if they can ostracize your brother and you do nothing, and you just sit there and act like it's business as usual, then that's telling them that they can ostracize black people anytime they damn well please. And that's a bigger issue, okay? We need to stand in solidarity with one another. And I need people to understand this. Like, yo, it's obvious that Kyrie Irving is a believer in God. It's obvious. The man's son named Elohim. Now, we ain't saying that he got the most accurate version of the truth. We ain't saying he's a perfect human being. That's not the point. The point is that he is a man of faith, and he is deserving. Like, what is it that he have done to make us feel like we need to turn our back on him? Point out our own history, trying to show us our own history. And now we want to turn our back on him, and now we want to act like he done did something wrong, and all these other black clowns on TV talking about, oh, well, he should have known better, and, you know, he should have done this, and he should have done that, and all this, like, he wrong, and y'all men is clown. These folk is clowns, bro. And I can't stand to see it. I can't stand to see one of our brothers ostracized like this, and the black man, and so many of you black men supposed to be doing something, sitting back doing nothing. But hey, I understand it. The truth ain't for everybody. Everybody is not called. Everybody's not elect. And I understand that as well. I just wish that we have more solidarity. But the beautiful thing, and I'm going to leave it on a positive note because I always have to. The beautiful thing about this is, man, I've seen this truth grow. You know, I first became aware of this way back in like 2007, man. And to see where it was then to where it is now, to where it's like basically, you know, our children, our young kids is growing up in this truth. It's not going to be new to them. You know what I'm saying? They growing up in the truth, you know, and you have prominent celebrities, you know, Kanye West and Kyrie Irving. I'm not saying that these men are angels in our community, no. But what I'm trying to say is that this is now common knowledge. The doctrines of the Hebrew Israelites, okay, the teachings are common knowledge now to our people. And that's a beautiful thing. So we have to understand what the next 10 years looks like. And I need brothers to understand, like, listen, bro, you know, this thing is about the kingdom. This thing is about the glory. This thing is about the power. This thing is about the blessings of the Almighty. And to inherit that is going to require some sacrifice. To inherit that, to receive what the Most High have planned for us, is going to require some level of sacrifice. It's going to require brothers to put themselves in uncomfortable situations, to stand up against the powers that be, because the point of the matter is we don't have the power right now. The power, if you think about it, the power is in the hands of a group of people who don't even believe in Christ for the most part. Okay, they don't believe in Christ. So now, how you talking about you're going to reclaim not only your power, but also restore order in terms of establishing Christ as king without no sacrifice? It's not going to happen like that, bro. It's going to require some sacrifice. It's going to require brothers to really put themselves out there on faith, and y'all will be tested. I'm telling you, you're going to be tested in this world, because it's the same thing they did to the Lord. And if you think you're going to stand for this truth without being tested, you are wrong. Okay. Now, as I said before, I wish that Kyrie hadn't backed down at all. I don't know what had happened. Maybe they threatened his family. Maybe I don't know what they did. But I wish that man had stood 100% wholeheartedly in the truth and unequivocally told them that he's not going to apologize for doing nothing wrong. And that's the type of leadership, that's the type of backbone that we need to see. Because if he budged, and the reason why I said that, I'm going to say this and I'm out of here for real. If he budged in any way in terms of apologizing, then they're going to look at him as weak and expect him, they're going to take that inch that you gave and they're going to expect you to go the whole 9 yards with it. Okay? And that's the reason why I say he should have just stood his ground on that. He should have made it clear that he don't hate nobody. He don't have no type of, whatever you want to call it, anti-Semitic views. I don't care. I'm not going to be held to your labels. That's the label that you created. That's for the benefit of you. I could tell you what I believe, and I could tell you I don't hate nobody. But when it comes to this truth, I'm going to stand on it, and we can have the discussion. But me saying that, him saying that he have a belief system that black folks, a lot of black people stem from the 12 tribes of Israel, is not an infringement upon anybody's rights, nor is that anti-anything. For him to point out the historical fact that in history, it explains that people have been converting to Judaism and calling themselves Jews for centuries. That's not anti-Semitic for anybody to say that. That's not anti-Semitic. That's pointing out history. From the time that the Israelites went into captivity in Assyria, Even the scriptures tell you that the kings of those nations was bringing in other people to replace the Hebrews who had already existed there. And when they came there, they were converting into Judaism. They became Jews. They became Jews. But when the Bible talks about the 12 tribes of Israel, when the scriptures talk about Bible prophecy that points to the children of Israel in the future, it's not talking about a group of people who converted to a religion. It's talking about a family of people being delivered in the last days. That is what the scriptures say. So now why ain't more Christians standing up for Kyrie Irving? See what I'm saying? And this is where you basically have the battle of good versus evil. This is where you have the ultimate test where people have to ultimately find out, are you an anti-black racist? Because if you are, because the only way that you could really have a real problem with black people coming to this realization and this truth is either A, because you really believe that it's not true based on your own research, studies, and understanding. And if you've come to that conclusion, God be with you. Or B, you just really don't believe it because they black. And I can tell you that if you got a group of people who have been white, who have been brainwashed to believe that Jesus is white, the Israelites is white, all these folks is white, and then and mind you, we live in a racist world that teaches that black people are inferior, and you have and you know that our society is teaching that black folks are a little bit inferior to other groups of people, you know, and perfect the race and stay away from blacks and all this other stuff. And then somebody come along and say, oh no, the Israelites were actually black. You know, oh, the Hebrews were actually black. Jesus was actually a black person, which you would call black today if you saw him. People can't even accept that. That worldview is so incredibly mind-blowing to them that they can't even fathom that. And the simple fact that you even say that infuriates them. No, apologize. You know, they can't have it. It strikes a chord and it hits them in a place that they've probably never ever been hit before. Real deep. And they can't accept it, you know, and that's unfortunate for them, because whether you believe the truth or not doesn't change the truth. I'm telling you, it's real deep, just like that. Hey, like, share, subscribe, family. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Do you feel like Kyrie Irving should have got more support from our people? Do you feel like Kyrie Irving should be getting more support even from the Jewish community? Do you feel like Kyrie Irving should be getting support from the Christian community? How do y'all feel about the silence that these people are doing? Is the silence a sign that they agree with the oppression of these people on Kyrie Irving? In my opinion, if anybody is anti, it's them showing that they are anti-black. That's what this really is. That's what this really is. A black man with a free mind and the ability to express himself freely in bringing out this truth. Family, some folk don't like that. God be with them. And God be with you. Like, share, subscribe, family. Till we chat again, this urban politics, and I'm checking out on you. Deuces.